The drama surrounding the Cleveland Browns has taken another dramatic turn. And this time the focus is not just on a young quarterback trying to establish himself in the NFL. Instead, it is about the stark contrast between two coaching philosophies and how that contrast may ultimately determine the future of the franchise. As the dust from last season continues to settle, a new narrative is emerging in Cleveland. One centered around the evolving relationship between rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders and the man now responsible for guiding his development, newly appointed head coach Todd Monken. The difference between Monken's approach and that of former Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski has become impossible to ignore. And for many observers, it feels like the beginning of a completely new chapter for the Cleveland Browns when Shedeur Sanders first arrived in Cleveland. The expectations were complicated from the start. As the son of legendary football figure Deion Sanders, he had already lived much of his young career under a microscope. His path through college football had been closely followed, his performances analyzed endlessly, and his personality scrutinized by critics and supporters alike. By the time he entered the NFL, Sanders was already accustomed to the pressure that comes with being one of the most talked about young quarterbacks in the sport, but even for someone used to intense scrutiny. His rookie season in Cleveland presented challenges that few players could have anticipated. The environment inside the organization during that time was uncertain, and much of the uncertainty stemmed from the way the coaching staff handled the quarterback position. Stefanski, known for his reserved and calculated approach with the media, often responded to questions about Sanders in ways that left fans and reporters searching for clarity. Rather than enthusiastically embracing the young quarterback as a cornerstone of the franchise's future, Stefanski frequently redirected conversations, emphasizing general team development instead of speaking directly about Sanders' role. For a rookie quarterback trying to build confidence and establish his place in the league, that kind of ambiguity can create a difficult atmosphere. Leadership at the quarterback position is not only about what happens on the field. It is also about the signals that coaches send to the locker room, the fan base, and the rest of the league. When a head coach openly backs his quarterback, it often creates a sense of unity and purpose. When that support appears uncertain, it can raise questions about the organization's long-term vision. Despite that environment, Sanders still managed to deliver flashes of the talent that made him such an intriguing prospect. Late in the season, he began to find his rhythm, guiding Cleveland to several important wins and demonstrating a calm presence under pressure. Those performances sparked optimism among fans who believed they were witnessing the early stages of a franchise quarterback beginning to find his footing. Then the offseason arrived, bringing with it a dramatic shift in leadership. Todd Monken stepped into the role of head coach, and almost immediately, the tone surrounding the quarterback conversation changed. During his first appearances in front of reporters at the NFL Combine, Monken spoke openly and confidently about Sanders, addressing the questions that had hovered over the team for months. Instead of avoiding the topic, he acknowledged the young quarterback's development and emphasized the potential he sees moving forward. That shift in communication was more than just a stylistic change. It represented a broader cultural reset within the organization. Monken made it clear that the Browns' quarterback situation would be approached with transparency and genuine competition. The team would evaluate every player in the room, including Sanders, veteran Deshaun Watson, and fellow quarterback Dylan Gabriel. But unlike the uncertainty of the previous season, Monken's comments carried a tone of encouragement rather than hesitation. Behind the scenes, another important voice in the organization reinforced that message. Browns general manager Andrew Berry spoke candidly about the team's plans for the quarterback position. Berry acknowledged that Sanders experienced the normal challenges that come with a rookie season, but he also pointed out the encouraging signs the young quarterback displayed when given the opportunity to play. His comments suggested that the front office views Sanders as a meaningful part of the team's future rather than merely a developmental project. Of course, the quarterback situation in Cleveland is far from simple. Watson remains one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league when healthy, but injuries and time away from the game have limited his availability in recent years. Over the last 5 seasons, his appearances have been surprisingly limited, raising legitimate questions about how quickly he can return to peak form. The physical demands of the NFL make long absences difficult to overcome. Even for elite athletes, that reality creates an opening for Sanders, who enters the upcoming season with the advantage of youth, health, and momentum from the games he played at the end of his rookie campaign. In many ways, the competition between Sanders and Watson represents a fascinating clash between experience and opportunity. Watson carries the legacy of previous success, while Sanders represents the possibility of a fresh start for the franchise. Meanwhile, Gabriel's presence in the quarterback room adds yet another layer of intrigue. His college career spanned several high-profile programs, and his consistency at that level earned him respect throughout the football world. Monken has made it clear that every quarterback on the roster will receive a fair evaluation, emphasizing that no starting role will simply be handed to anyone without competition. What makes the situation particularly compelling is how Monken has chosen to build relationships with his players during this transitional period. One story from the offseason captured the attention of many fans and reporters alike. On his birthday, Monken received an unexpected package. Inside was a porcelain horse head sent by Shedeur Sanders. The gift was both humorous and symbolic, referencing classic cinematic imagery while also serving as a gesture of goodwill from the young quarterback to his new coach. The story may seem small on the surface, but moments like that often reveal the dynamics forming within a team. For Sanders to reach out in that way demonstrated his eagerness to connect with the new coaching staff. And Monken's reaction, placing the gift prominently in his office and sharing the story with a smile, suggested that he appreciated the personality and initiative behind it. These personal interactions can play a powerful role in shaping a quarterback's development. The relationship between a quarterback and his head coach often determines how effectively a team's offensive system functions. When trust exists on both sides, communication becomes easier, adjustments happen faster, and confidence grows. Monken has repeatedly emphasized that his immediate priority is creating an environment where each quarterback can become comfortable within the system. Comfort, in this context, does not mean complacency. Instead, it means giving players the structure and clarity needed to perform at their highest level. Without that foundation, even the most talented athletes can struggle to translate their abilities into consistent success on the field. Now, with a new coaching staff and a renewed sense of direction within the organization, Sanders has the opportunity to prove that his rookie flashes were only the beginning. The Browns believe their roster is closer to contention than many outsiders realize. Monken himself has described the team as undergoing a retool rather than a full rebuild, pointing to competitive performances against strong opponents late last season as evidence that the foundation is already in place. If Sanders emerges from the upcoming quarterback competition as the starter, the Browns could find themselves in an unexpectedly favorable position. A capable young quarterback playing on a rookie contract provides financial flexibility that can help strengthen the rest of the roster. In a division as competitive as the AFC North, those advantages can make the difference between merely surviving and truly competing for playoff contention. Yet none of these possibilities are guaranteed. The coming months will determine whether Sanders can continue to grow into the role that many believe he is capable of filling. Training camp battles, preseason performances, and the subtle evaluations that happen during practice will all contribute to the final decision. As the new season approaches, the Browns' quarterback story remains one of the most fascinating in the entire NFL. Can Shedeur Sanders rise above the chaos of his rookie year and establish himself as the franchise quarterback Cleveland has been searching for? Will Deshaun Watson remind the league of the elite talent that once made him one of the most dangerous players in football?